Disgrace by J.M. Coetzee is a novel with a decidedly inconclusive ending. Two contrasting images are given at the end of the novel. David returning to the countryside and observing a pregnant Lucy from afar, and David giving up his pet dog to euthanization at the hands of Beth Shaw. What kind of messages does Coetzee leave for us with these final images in the novel? As Laurie watches his daughter in the field, there is a moment of utter stillness which he would wish belonged forever. The gentle sun, the stillness of mid-afternoon. He is busy in a field of flowers, and at the center of the picture a young woman, das ewig Weibliche, lightly pregnant in a straw sun hat. The phrase das ewig Weibliche, or the eternal feminine, comes from the second part of Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's 19th century tragic play, Faust, one of the most important works of German literature to date. In fact, das ewig Weibliche zieht uns hinan is the final sentence of the entire play. A possible translation of this closing sentence sung by a mystical chorus is the eternal feminine draws us on high, the connotation being that the eternal feminine is holy. The play ends in the ascension of Faust amongst various holy female figures, one being the Virgin Mary. The concept of das ewig Weibliche comes to Laurie's mind as he watches his daughter. Lucy becomes a symbol for this concept and embodies the redemptive qualities of femininity. Laurie himself can be seen as a Faust-like character. At the most basic level, Faust and Laurie are aging scholars that doubt their self-worth. Faust is followed home by a black dog, an embodiment of the devil, in a moment of despair over his seemingly pointless life, while Laurie mentally contemplates his old age and meaningless job. Both are tempted in their contemplation of life to commit questionable acts. Driven by his despair, Faust makes a wager with the devil, Mephistopheles. Mephisto will be Faust's servant on earth until he can show Faust something that will make him wish a moment to linger, a seemingly difficult task as Faust planned on killing himself because of his loneliness and the fruitlessness of his academic endeavors. If Mephistopheles manages to sway Faust, Faust must return to hell with him as his servant. This bet hinges directly upon Faust's relationship with women. The devil tempts him with a young woman from the village, Margareta, also known as Gretchen. Faust sees her and asks Mephisto to procure her for him. She is well known to be a devout Christian, which makes it more difficult to sway her. Mephisto, however, succeeds in luring the girl into a relationship with Faust, believing that he can make Faust lose the wager through her. Echoes of this part of the story exist in Disgrace. Laurie's devil does not manifest in a corporeal form, but in his own self. He identifies with Lucifer and even pens a book based on an operatic adaptation of the play called Boito and the Faust Legend, the genesis of Mephistopheles. Laurie obviously desires Melanie and blames his acquisition of her not on himself but on Eros. However, a full comparison is impossible because Gretchen falls pregnant by Faust. She ends up killing her baby when Faust leaves and is jailed and hanged. Faust attempts to rescue her from prison, but she chooses to be judged before God and goes to her hanging. Faust does not understand Gretchen at this time, much like David cannot empathize with Melanie or other women. Faust's story goes on to deviate from the story of Margareta in the second part of the play. Faust's life goes on for many years in the same vein as in the first section of the play, with Mephisto trying to best him. Faust is eventually saved from accompanying Mephistopheles to hell by his compassion for his subjects as he gains a fiefdom. He finally experiences the moment that he wishes to prolong, when he thinks of how better to serve his people when Mephisto murders some peasants for their land. Faust's moment comes about through his own agency, so Mephistopheles loses the wager and Faust is carried off by angels. Laurie likewise experiences the moment that he would wish belonged forever as he watches Lucy. Laurie is symbolically saved through her. He loses no wager with his inner devil because he is able to feel some sympathy for her others by the end of the novel. He does not prolong the suffering of the dog Driepoot to spare his own feelings and lets the dog move on, learning in the process to express his love for the creature. His need for sexual conquest is replaced by the hope that the tentative relationship he shares with his daughter and his unborn grandchild brings. His relationship to the feminine is altered by the end of the novel. Instead of being solely a source of pleasure, he acknowledges another form of relationship with women through his daughter. She is a source of hope for a better future. Laurie is able to carry on in the end because he alters his relationship to women by transcending his selfish desires. Reading Laurie as a form of Faust creates an opportunity for hope and redemption for his character in Disgrace.